Today I'm going to teach you everything you ever wanted to know about chainsaw bars, and more. Pretty tricky, huh? You didn't know I had 4 of them, did you? It's kind of like a magic show. So you're tired of being the guy that goes to the pro saw shop asking for a new chain, only to be faced with a bunch of questions you can't answer that exposes you for the noob that you are? Because we've all been there, haven't we? Chainsaw bars. Chainsaw bars have all the information written on them that you need to know to look like you know what you're talking about. And after this video, you will. So let's break it down. How do we interpret this writing on a chainsaw bar? There's 3 things we need to be concerned of. First is the gauge. The second is the pitch. And the third is the tooth count. What the gauge is, this one here doesn't show it, but it's a 0.50, 50 thousandths of an inch. The gauge of a chain is the width of the groove, the width in the groove from the side to side of the bar. The pitch of the chain, if we take a chain right here and we were to measure the distance center to center between 3 rivets, how about we bring you right there in front of the camera? Bear with me here. 3 rivets, count 1, 2, 3. If we measured from the distance from the center to center, divided it by 2, we would have the pitch. And that right there is the 3/8 of an inch. And then, of course, the last, the 60, is the tooth count. That's how many, or the link count. That's how many links. When I talk about a link, I mean one of these here. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. That'll give you the 3 measurements you need. Also, most bars will give the length on them. These here that I'm showing you are bars made in Canada. These are Windsor bars. And I'll tell you why I like Windsor bars here in a minute. On the Windsors, and the Stills will have it someplace as well, you see the 16 right there, the beginning of the number, that tells you that this is a 16-inch bar. That's how long it is. This here, also a Windsor bar, right there at the beginning of the serial number, we'll have a 32. That'll tell you that this is a 32-inch bar. A good chainsaw bar is expensive, and I think a lot of people maybe not realize that you can run these for years and years, and when when you do have problems, like when you start getting worn in here and the chain starts to get pretty sloppy, or that your front sprocket gets worn out, or that it gets bent, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw it away. Repairing these bars is commonplace in pro saw shops, from replacing the tips, which is just a really easy thing to do. You can actually do it yourself by drilling out, removing the rivets and swaging in new rivets, or you can have the pro saw shop, they'll do it for a fraction of the cost of a new bar. You know, a pro bar like this, 32-inch, will cost way over $100. And I've had mine repaired and repaired and repaired many times, from getting bent to just being overly worn. There's a lot of things they can do. In addition to repairing the tips, they've got special tools, and you can buy these yourself, which squeeze this gauge back. They'll reprofile this, basically put it back to its original settings, and you can get more life out of the bar. And that, I think the saw shop that I've used for years to do that charges about $12. So really a good deal. Back to one of the reasons that I like the Windsor bars is they have a greasable tip. There's a lot of controversy on this, and the guys will go on all day long arguing about this on the forums, whether it's necessary or not. Some guys say, well, it spins so fast that it just throws the lubricant out anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. And it is interesting to note that the brand new bars that come from Steel don't have a greasable option, but the Windsors do. So the way I fall on it is that, what's it going to hurt? Is it really going to make any difference? Will it make the tips last longer? How can it hurt? So if that's interesting to you, or something you want, this is a grease gun for the tip chainsaw bar. It's just got a little cup in there you remove, and you just pack that full of grease yourself, whatever grease you like. A good waterproof grease like Bel Ray is fine. It's got a little plunger on there with a real fine point. So what you do is you just stick that point in there and pack that in there until you can see it come out on the sprocket. Right there, you can see it's all, there it is. So just so you know, that's what that's for. Look for that on your bar. One other thing that's really important that has burned up a lot of bars, just from guys that are just not aware of it, is having a plugged up hole for your oiler. Now the bars, if you look at them on the back where they connect to the saw, you'll see that they have two different oilers. Why is that? This one's down below and this one's up on top right there. Well, because each time you sharpen your chain, you should flip your bar. So I get comments all the time when I'm running a bar, like a steel bar, that the name is upside down on it. People say, "Oh, you moron, you put your bar on the wrong way." No, it's not. That's not the reason. The reason is so you can wear both sides. One side wears more than the other when it's up. And so by flipping that, every time you get 50% more run time on your bar, where you're wearing both sides evenly. So each time you sharpen, you should flip it. And they're designed for that. That's why they have this oiler will come in contact with the back of the saw right there, regardless of which way you flip it. So as you can see right here, this is common. When it's the unused side of the saw, will get clogged up with sawdust. See that? That won't oil very well. And sometimes there's not enough pressure in the oil pump on the saw to push that through. And so you end up running a whole tank of gas or more on an unoiled chain, and that's what will burn up a bar. And you'll see that will start manifesting itself by a burnt, darkened area. You see right there? That's a bar that is run hot. So we're all unfallible here, aren't we? This right here, looking at the saw, this is where the oil comes through. The reason why it has a long groove in there is because, depending on the chain and how much stretch there is, that there's a lot of play in this bar, right? Back and forth, depending on wherever the chain comes tight. So with that oiler, or the oiler hole right on the top right there, you see that? That's so it can pick up oil regardless of the position, regardless of wherever it's at. So just keep an eye whenever you take your chain off or do service your bar or whatever. Just make sure that those are blown out with compressed air. Just dig them out with a little whatever you have, and that will give you a lot more life on your chainsaw bar. Here we have an example of a German bar. We'll leave it up to the Germans to leave no stone unturned. Very thorough. Look at that, even got pictures there. So here we've got the chain, 84. That's the link count. We've got the gauge there, 50 thousandths or 1.3 millimeters for those of you who like the metric system. And then of course we've got a 25-inch bar and the pitch, 3/8. All you Canadians telling me how much better the metric system is, and you don't even put it on your own chainsaw bars. Shame on you. My day just isn't complete until I can stir the pot of contention between the metric and the imperial system. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a quiz, see if there are any smarties out there. So for those of you who realize that all European manufacturers, automotive manufacturers, everything is done in metric, right? Mercedes, BMW, the French, the Japanese, everything done in metric, except for one thing. There's one measurement on all cars, regardless of where they're made, that still uses the imperial system. Tell me if you can guess what that is. If you can, put it in the comments and we'll see who the smarty is. Be curious to see if the smarties rise to the top. Man, is it hot today. I start turning into a pumpkin when the temperature exceeds 80 degrees. I do not like the heat. I lived a miserable summer in the south of Florida. I wanted to tell everyone, you don't have to live in this environment. There are other places. But so, if you would like to see how to properly sharpen a chainsaw, right there, click on that video. Got a 2-part series using the excellent Grandberg grinding joint, file and joint, grinding joint. So, I'll provide that for your viewing pleasure. No, I won't. Actually, I'm going to change that. Right there, I'm going to put a link to the Sportsmobile. How to make your own Sportsmobile. How to make a weekender van that will change your life. Yeah, that's a good video because that is something that, as I said, will change your life. So click the thumbs up if you enjoy these videos. It's a way for you to support the channel, and we really appreciate it. So thank you. And I'm off to fire drill. We'll see you guys in the next video.